Okay, so last day we've seen the relation between the incidence angle, reflected angle, and a form of the Snell's law for the polarization of the waves or the reflection of the waves for the oblique incidence. So we have been found that it also follows the Snell's law, whatever we have been found for the light. So we'll go with some variation in this oblique incidence. First variation, it is parallel polarization. It is known as parallel polarization or TM wave or P polarization. TM means transverse electromagnetic wave. Transverse electromagnetic wave, TM. One minute. So how it is parallel polarization? Let us go with this diagram. So parallel polarization means we have been going with the electric field. Every time whenever the parallel polarization perpendicular polarization is been considered, we need to think about the electric field. So what is the orientation of the electric field? That is what we need to consider. So here this is your x. So if we consider xz plane, this xz plane is the plane of incidence. So this electric field lies, this electric field, this is reflected, it is incident, it is transmitted. These are the directions for the electric field. Electric field completely lies on this xz plane. What is this xz plane? This xz plane is known as plane of incidence. Electric field lies in the xz plane. that is the plane of incidence. The plane of incidence. So here the electric field completely lies on the xz plane. Lies means they are parallel to this xz plane. XZ plane, the plane of this paper. So we can consider electric field completely lying on this xz plane, or you can consider that they are parallel to this plane of incidence. So why it is not transverse magnetic field? Transverse, again it is transverse, so it is compared to the tangential. So transverse means the magnetic field is transverse on the interface. What is this interface? Interface is that plane which is like this, xy plane you can consider. This is x. So on this, either it is upward, either it is downward. Okay. So magnetic field is parallel to the interface. The interface which has been separating two different medium. So on that interface, the magnetic field is parallel. That's why it is known as TM, transverse magnetic wave. Or you can consider the transverse magnetic wave means magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of incidence. So here plane of incidence is xz plane. Magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of incidence. So parallel polarization is same as TM wave or P polarization. So how we supposed to recognize that electric field will parallel to the plane of incidence, which is this plane of incidence xz plane, and magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of incidence. Clear? So here we need to find out the electric field component in different directions. It is for incident as well as for reflected. So first of all we need to find out electric field in different directions. So how can we find? If you look, we are having the electric field, the components may be along the x direction, along z direction, right? We may have the components along x direction, for this electric field we may have along x direction, we may have the component along z direction. For this we considering it is along minus z direction. Let us consider it is minus z, it is x. So we need to find out the electric field which is incident in these two different directions, then only we can say this is the incident electric field, right? So how to find out? So this x and z, it is having 90 degree, right? This angle is 90 degree. Since this is incidence, so obviously this angle is also theta I. So let us write this one as theta I. This angle is same as this angle, right? This x and z, it is 90 degree, right? Again this propagation vector and the field, they are again in 90 degree. Then if this is theta I, so obviously this angle between EI and Z, that will be 90 minus theta I. So this one will be 90 minus theta I. I don't know whether it is visible or not, right? Again the x and z, it is 90 degree, so we can consider this one again theta I, this angle, it again theta I. So what we can write for this incident electric field? Some amplitude, then we going with z minus z. So it is this part, it is cos 90 minus theta I, cos 90 degree minus theta I, which is along minus az direction. Along x it is cos theta I, cos of theta I, which is along ax, e to the power minus j kx, right? So we need to write down according to that, e to the power minus j ki, it is for the incidence, it is x sin theta plus z cos theta I. So what is this incidence propagation vector? It is, let us consider it is prime. So it is ki cos theta I along az plus ki sin theta I along ax we have been writing with respect to this ki, then reflected minus kr cos theta r, which is along z. If we have been split this one into z and x component, then this thing will be coming out. Same for this kr, it is along minus az x. Same kt, it is plus z and x. So in this way we have been finding kr sin theta r ax, then kt prime, let us consider it is kt cos theta t, which is along plus z, then kt sin theta t along ax. Fine. You have been splitting this k in x along z and x, same along z x, z x. So after all we have been writing this expression. So in medium 1 we are having both incident and reflected fields. In medium 1, this is your medium 1, this is your medium 2. We have both incident and reflected fields given by, we are writing in terms of phasor form. It is cos, whatever we have been found, cos theta I ax minus sin theta I az e to the power minus j beta 1 x sin theta I plus z cos theta I. Give equation number 1. Same we can find out for the magnetic field, eta 1, it is magnetic field, it is perpendicular. Magnetic field, either this one or this one, it is perpendicular. So there is no phase relation with respect to this incidence angle or reflected or transmitted angle. So we simply write like this, to the power minus j beta 1 x sin theta I plus z cos theta I ay. 2, then reflected electric field cos theta r ax sin theta r az e to the power minus j beta 1 x sin theta r minus z cos theta r. 3 reflected magnetic field minus of reflected, it is in the opposite direction, this reflected it is in the opposite direction of the incident, so we have to write minus E r naught eta 1 e to the power minus j beta 1 x sin theta r z cos r ay. Equation number 4. Now transmitted field, the transmitted fields exist in medium 2. Given by cos of theta t ax minus sin of theta t az minus j beta 2 x sin theta t plus z cos theta t. 5 magnetic field, it is in the same direction of the incidence, so it is t0 eta 2 e to the power minus j eta 2 x sin theta t z cos theta t. Equation number 6. So here what we have been found for the oblique incidence, reflected angle of incidence and angle of reflection are same, right, and tangential component of both electric field and magnetic field is continuous at the boundary. Since the tangential component of E and H is continuous only when the interface is charge free, then only the tangential component will be continuous. So we have been considering interface is charge free, E and H be continuous at boundary z is equals to 0. So tangential component we need to find out. So obviously for the tangential component we need to go with x, right? So what we can write, in the medium 1 we are having the incident and reflected both. In medium 1 we are having incident and reflected, and also I am just writing here, and also theta I is equals to theta r. So we can write is equals to cos of theta t. This is equation number 7. So tangential component we have been considering at the plane of incidence is x. So for this x component we are having cos theta t. Same for the incident we are having cos theta I, and for the reflected we are having cos theta r. So since theta I is equals to theta r, So we have been written like this. So it is the tangential component in medium 1, tangential component in medium 1. So tangential component is, we have been considering x component, since we didn't have any y component. Why we are not considering z component? Because z is the direction of wave propagation. So we should not have any field component along the direction of wave propagation, and this one is tangential component in medium 2. Okay. So last day we have seen the relation like this from the Snell's law. So we are supposed to use this one here. So after this, we can write down in medium 1, 1 by eta 1 with respect to magnetic field. This is with respect to electric field. This is with respect to electric field. I am just writing here respect to E field. So if we write with respect to magnetic field, we simply write divided by eta 1 and divided by eta 2. So we can have Et0 by eta 2, then Ei0 by eta 1 and Er0 by eta 1. So this is negative. So if we take eta 1 common, okay, let me write this one as like this: I0 minus 1 by eta 1 Er0 is equals to 1 by eta 2 Et0. Let us write down, this is respect to magnetic field. So these are the tangential component in medium 1. Component in medium 1. This is tangential component medium 2. So it can be written as one by eta 2 equation number 8. Okay. So from here we can find out the ratio between the reflected and incidence, whatever we have been found for the normal incidence. For this oblique incidence also we can find out the ratio between the reflected and incident at the interface. So that will give you the reflection coefficient, and if we find out the ratio between the transmitted and the incidence, that will give you the transmission coefficient at the interface. So if you take the ratio between this incidence, reflected and incidence, that it is parallel signs, that is Er0 by Ei0. So we can write down this one as eta 2 cos theta t minus eta 1 cos theta I by eta 2 cos theta t plus eta 1 cos theta I. So this is reflected. So here from this expression we can take out this. And another one is transmission coefficient for parallel polarization. It is ET0 by EI0. It is cos theta I cos theta t So what we did here, we have expressed our ER0 and ET0 in terms of EI0. So from these two equation number 7 and equation 8. So what was equation 7? I am just writing here again. Equation 7 was EI0 plus ER0 cos theta I is equals to ET0 cos theta t. This is our equation number 7. So from these two equation, if we take the ratio of this ER by EI at the interface, we can have these two expression. We can also write same way whatever we have written earlier, that reflected is the reflection coefficient multiplied by the incident at the interface. Same this one, this it is parallel sign. Let us give equation number 9 here. It is equation number 10. So this equation 9 and 10, I hope it is known for you. This equation, it is known as Fresnel equation. Fresnel's equation. So here, if we put theta I is equals to theta t, then we can get the values same as whatever we have been found for the normal incidence. Equation 9 and 10 are called Fresnel equation. If I am just writing, if we put theta I is equals to theta t, which is the condition for the normal incidence, we will get the values for, if you go with gamma or tau of normal incidence. Now from Snell's law, what do we know? N1 sin theta I is equals to N2 sin theta t. So what is cos theta t? It is root over 1 minus sin square theta t, or we can write from this equation 1 minus N2 by N1 whole square sin square theta I. It is N1 by N2, right? N1 by N2. Yes. So by putting this cos theta value in equation 9 and 10, by putting the value of cos theta t in equation 9 and 10, we can write down this one as 1 plus gamma parallel is equals to tau parallel into cos theta t by cos theta I. Previously we have seen 1 plus gamma is equals to tau. Now for the oblique incidence, 1 plus gamma is equals to tau into cos theta t by cos theta I. Now if we look into equation number 9, it is possible that this gamma parallel can be 0 because the numerator is the difference of two terms. So reflection coefficient is 0. So there is no reflection. So that is known as, the angle of incidence is known as Brewster angle. All of you heard about that. I am just writing from equation 9, it is possible that gamma parallel is equals to 0 because numerator is the difference of two terms. So under this condition, there is no reflection. That is, this ER0 is completely 0, and the incident angle at which this takes place is called Brewster angle. Or theta b parallel. It is also defined as something like that. It is the angle, the polarizing angle, because an arbitrary polarization, if the signal is arbitrarily polarized and the incident wave will be reflected with only the component of electric field perpendicular to the plane of incidence. The Brewster angle, it is also known as polarizing angle because for an arbitrary polarized incident wave, whatever may be the polarization, will be reflected with only the component of electric field perpendicular to the plane of incidence. So if we supposed to find out the expression for this Brewster angle, so we need to put gamma parallel is equals to 0. The Brewster angle is obtained by taking theta I is equal to theta b parallel when reflection coefficient is 0. That is, eta 2 cos theta t is equals to eta 1 cos theta b parallel. That is our numerator. That is what our numerator for this case. Right? This is the incidence. Incidence angle has been considered as theta b parallel. So if you take the square in both sides, it is eta 2 square 1 minus sine square theta t is equals to eta 1 square 1 minus sin theta b parallel, like this. So sin, from Snell's law, what we have been found? From Snell's law, we are having sin theta t by sin theta I is equals to ki by kt, which is phase velocity c. So here in transparent medium 2, so that one will be in the numerator, that is in the denominator, because this is in the incidence, it is related to incidence, it is in medium 1. So we can write down this one as root over mu 2 by, sorry, it is mu 1 by epsilon 1. Vp is, for C it is 1 by root mu naught epsilon naught. So we can write this one as mu 2 epsilon 2. How we have written? Vp is 1 by root over mu by epsilon, mu epsilon. So this is related to medium 1, this is related to medium 2. So from this we can find out the Brewster's angle. Sin square theta b parallel is equals to 1 minus, by putting these values over here, 1 minus mu 2 epsilon 1 by mu 1 epsilon 2, 1 minus epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 whole square. So if the dielectric medium on which the wave is been propagating, it is not only lossless but also non-magnetic, when the dielectric medium is not only lossless but non-magnetic as well. We have been simplifying the expression. So here, that is mu 1 is equals to mu 2 is equals to some known value. Let us consider it is mu naught, some value, mu naught prime. So we supposed to consider the medium 1, medium 2 are non-magnetic. So for this case, this mu 1 and mu 2 will be same, right? So it will be 1 minus epsilon 1 by epsilon 2, this one will be same, right? So we are having sin square theta b parallel is equals to 1 minus epsilon 1 by epsilon 2, this is 1 minus epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 into 1 plus epsilon 1 by epsilon 2. So this one will get cancelled. So we are having 1 by 1 plus epsilon 1 by epsilon 2. Therefore sin theta b parallel is root over of epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2. So from this we can also find out the tan. Therefore tan theta b parallel is root over of epsilon 2 by epsilon 1, and it is can be written also as n2 by n1, whatever we have written for the Snell's law, whatever the value for n1 and n2. So this is the Brewster's angle for parallel polarization or TM wave. So lot of calculation is there. You just go with the calculation and try to understand how these calculations are been done. Any confusion with the observation? What are the observations we have been considered till now? Anyone? Any confusion with the observation? Calculation, you may have the confusion. You just go with it once, you will have the clarification on this. Still, if you are having any doubt, you can ask. Any question? Anyone? This value, this expression, this is sine square theta b parallel. This one, what we have been considered, that incidence angle is the Brewster's angle, for which the reflection coefficient is completely zero. There is no reflection, right? So what we have been considered from this expression, if we are having reflection coefficient is equals to 0, then this numerator is equals to 0, this numerator part is 0, that's what we have written, and eta 2 cos theta t is equals to eta 1 theta b parallel, that is Brewster's angle for the parallel polarization. So from which we have been doing the mathematical calculation by changing this value. So we have been taking out this sign because we are having the known form with respect to the Snell's law, which gives us the relation between the incidence and the transmission angle, because we no need to do anything for the reflection, because there is no reflection for this case, right? And this one we have taken from our this expression. If you can look into this for the yesterday's class, sin theta I by sin theta t is equals to ki by kt, propagation vector for the incidence and propagation vector for the transmission. So beta 1 and beta 2 I have written directly in terms of the phase velocity, because c will get cancelled, right? Doubt clear? N1 and N2, which part? This one. Right. Okay. Let me go with this derivation again. Let me go with this derivation. So if we find out sin theta b parallel from this expression, so how it will come? So this expression I am just writing here. It is eta 2 square 1 minus sin square theta t, eta 1 square 1 minus sin square theta b parallel. Okay. So from this, if we go with eta 1 square, if we take out this one here, eta 1 square minus eta 1 square sin square theta b parallel, eta 2 square minus eta 2 square sin square theta t. So from this, if you take out in that side, that will be eta 1 square minus eta 2 square sin square theta t is equals to eta 1 square sin square theta b parallel. Fine up to this. Then sin square theta b parallel, it is 1 minus, that is eta 2 square by eta 1 square, it is 1 square, then it is same eta 2 square by eta 1 square sine square theta t, right? So we going to replace this sine square theta t from this expression. So what will be that? So if we replace this one, it will be 1 minus eta 2 square by eta 1 square, eta 2 square by eta 1 square is eta. It will be coming out as, again this theta is the Brewster's angle, incidence angle. Okay, so this can be written as square, that is mu 1 epsilon 1 mu 2 epsilon 2 into sine square theta b parallel. Fine. After this, so if you take out that side, sine square theta b parallel, it is 1 minus eta 2 square eta 1 square into mu 1 epsilon 1 mu 2 epsilon 2, right? Isn't it? It is 1 minus eta 2 square by eta 1 square. Now put the value of eta 1 and eta 2 with respect to mu 1 and mu 2. So eta 1 is root over mu 1 by epsilon 1, eta 2 is root over mu 2 by epsilon 2. That's why it has been coming like this, mu 2 epsilon 1 mu 1 epsilon 2. I hope after that you can do, right? Clear? Now the doubt is clear, everyone? Any other doubt, anyone? Second part, it is perpendicular polarization. So, or they are known as TE wave or S polarization. Previously that was P polarization, now this is S polarization. Medium 1, medium 2, mu 1 comma epsilon 1, this one is mu 2 epsilon 2. Okay, so for this case, perpendicular polarization, so obviously electric field is perpendicular to the plane of incidence. Electric field is perpendicular to the plane of incidence, that is your xz plane. Okay, so for this case your magnetic field is lying on the plane of incidence. Okay, magnetic field is having parallel to the plane of incidence. Electric field is perpendicular, magnetic field is parallel to the plane of incidence. So previously the opposite one. So for this case, it is known as perpendicular polarization. So we are being segregating the concept with respect to the electric field. If electric field is parallel to the plane of incidence, that is a parallel polarization. If electric field is perpendicular to the plane of incidence, that is known as perpendicular polarization. Now you will think, you find that this direction of the electric field when it is get reflected and when it is get transmitted, it is not changed as we have seen for the magnetic field. So for the magnetic field, after reflection, direction of the magnetic field is changed. But here, the electric field, it is not at all changing its direction. Okay, so magnetic field, it is changing its direction. So we need to find out, or we need to go with the incident and reflected fields in medium 1, incident and transmitted field in medium 2. The incident and reflected fields in medium 1. So electric field is perpendicular. So there is no angle relation with respect to incident angle or reflected angle or transmitted angle with the electric field. So we can write directly whatever we have been seen for the parallel polarization. That is, magnetic field is perpendicular, so there is no relation with respect to incident angle for the components. So the phasor form will be like this: J beta 1 x sin theta incident plus z cos theta incident. It is in the y direction. Electric field, it is in the y direction. So it is a y component. So magnetic field, now it is having either in the z direction and x direction. We need to consider both of them. So that one will be by eta 1 in the medium 1. It is minus cos theta I cos theta I ax. It is in the x direction for the incident. Sin theta I, it is in the z direction, e to the power minus j beta 1 in the medium 1 x sin theta I plus z cos theta I, which is having the x component as well as the z component. Now for the reflected, it is in the medium 1 er0 e to the power minus j beta 1 x sin theta r minus z cos theta r. It is along y er0 by eta 1 cos theta r ax plus sin theta r az j beta 1 x theta r minus z cos theta r 4. Now transmitted field, medium 2. Phasor form minus j beta 2 x sin theta t plus z cos theta t. That is same ay direction for the magnetic field minus cos theta t ax sin theta t az j beta 2 z cos theta t. So these are the fields in medium 1 and medium 2. Now again we need to go with the boundary conditions. So tangential component of E and H must be continuous at the interface z equals to 0. Again, from boundary conditions, the tangential component of E and H be continuous at z equals to 0 and taking, what do we know, theta r is equals to theta I. So what we have in the medium 1, incident and reflected, and in medium 2 it is transmitted. So at z equals 0, we can consider that whatever the field exists at medium 1, the same field will be there at medium 2. So it is only possible at the interface at z equals to 0. So at z equals to 0, at this case, what we can write, ER0 is equals to the transmitted, right? Same, we can go with the magnetic field. Tangential component of the x, right? So ax component we need to consider for magnetic field, that is cos theta I 1 by eta 2 cos theta t, right? So if we express this reflected and transmitted in terms of incident, expressing ER0 and ET0 in terms of EI0, what we can write, reflection coefficient for perpendicular polarization, it is ER0 by EI0, which is eta 2 cos theta I minus 1 cos theta t by eta 2 cos theta I plus eta 1 cos theta t. This is our reflection coefficient for oblique incidence. Same, I am just writing here, transmission coefficient for perpendicular polarization, it is 2 by theta 2 cos theta I minus eta 2 cos theta I eta 1 cos theta t. Right? So here also same thing. If incident field is given, by taking the help of reflection coefficient for perpendicular polarization, we can find out the reflected electric field. Same for the transmitted. So these are the Fresnel's equation for perpendicular polarization. These are same as the Fresnel's equation whatever we've been seen for the parallel polarization. So for the parallel polarization, we are having, these are the formulas, expressions for the reflection coefficient and for the transmission coefficient. Now these are the expression for the perpendicular polarization. Okay. Here also we can say 1 plus reflection coefficient is the transmission coefficient. Now if there is no reflection, can we get the condition whatever we found in terms of Brewster's angle for this case if there is no reflection? So let us go with that concept for this case. If it is possible or not, let us check. For no reflection, this gamma perpendicular should be 0 or ER should be 0. So this is as the same case of total transmission. So if gamma is 0, so we can say total transmission, that is tau gamma should be 1. So how it is possible? By replacing theta I by the Brewster's angle. So if the incidence angle is at the Brewster's angle, then we can consider there is no reflection, whatever we know. So by replacing theta I with the corresponding Brewster's angle, theta b perpendicular, then we can write down eta 2 cos theta t should be eta, sorry, it is theta b perpendicular should be eta 1 cos theta t, right, from this expression. So if reflection coefficient is 0, then eta 2 cos theta b perpendicular should be eta 1 cos theta t. That is what I have written here, right? So again, let us change this one with respect to sine to have the Brewster's angle. 1 minus sine square theta b perpendicular is equals to eta 1 square 1 minus sine square theta t. So from here we can take out this sine square theta b perpendicular is equals to 1 minus mu 1 epsilon 2 by mu 2 epsilon 1, 1 minus mu 1 by mu 2 whole square. Now if we have been dealing with a non-magnetic medium, if we have been dealing with previously we have seen the Brewster's angle, the simplified form of the Brewster's angle for the non-magnetic medium. So this was the form of the Brewster's angle. This is the condition for a non-magnetic medium, lossless as well as non-magnetic medium. So for the lossless and non-magnetic medium, we are having the simplified Brewster's form as root over epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2. So let us go and check whether we are having that simplified form for the non-magnetic medium or not. For non-magnetic medium, that is mu 1 is equals to mu 2 is equals to mu 0. So if this one same, then obviously this denominator will become 0 and sine square theta b perpendicular tends to infinite, which means theta b perpendicular does not exist. Therefore we can say theta b perpendicular does not exist because from the mathematics concept, trigonometry concept, sine of an angle is never greater than unity, right? Sine of an angle is never greater than unity. Now if mu 1 naught is equals to mu 2 and epsilon 1 is equals to epsilon 2, so for that case we can have the simplified Brewster form. Then sine theta b perpendicular, this one epsilon equals to epsilon 2, then one of the term will get cancelled. We can have mu 2 by mu 1 plus mu 2, or tan theta b perpendicular is mu 2 by mu 1. So but this situation is not possible because two different medium cannot have the same permittivity. Two different medium cannot have the same permittivity, right? Then how it is possible to have the interface between the two different medium? Then it is not possible. So theoretically it is not possible. Theoretically not possible, right? Any doubt up to this? Anyone, any doubt? Doubt may be there how this components has been derived from this diagram. You just go with that. Previous class, in the previous class I have shown how we have derived these components. By taking the components vector decomposition, we have been found. So similarly, you just go with this and try to find out these different components. There may be some confusion. You just go with the mathematical calculation, you can easily find out the result. Okay. Anything else? Anyone? Any doubt? Any doubt? Okay, then I'll conclude today up to this. Any doubt you can ask.